What's up, everybody? Welcome to yet another Tuesday night Q&A Hangout. Time flies, but yet at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's flying fast enough because football still seems like a little ways away. But you got the last set of practices, Phase 3 OTAs for the Kansas City Chiefs this week. Tuesday, so started today, Wednesday, Thursday, that's the media look. And pressers are going to be happening as well. Don't know who's speaking at those yet. And then Friday. After that, mandatory minicamp next week, June 17th through the 19th. It's an eventful week. You got Father's Day Sunday. That's actually the same day as me and my wife's anniversary. I think it's 12 years married. Time really flies. That's crazy. Crazy to even think about. I titled this stream, Which Chiefs Players Have to Ball Out this year, and it's not like I don't have to overthink it, but I did pull up the Chiefs depth chart and we can kind of just look through it and say, hey, who really needs to have a good year this year? Whether that's for the future for them because they're on a contract year or just in general to really help the team. I put Pacheco and Jaden Hicks on the thumbnail just because I feel like the Jaden Hicks one, pretty self-explanatory. Justin Reed gone. He's with the Saints. So you're really expecting or hoping for a big leap up, big step up for Jaden Hicks, the former fourth-round pick from 2 years ago, arguably the best safety in that draft class, scooped up by the Chiefs. As soon as that happened, I was kind of like, yeah, that could be the guy for life after Justin Reed, and we're about to find out what that looks like. They upgraded the cornerback room, the safety room for me. I feel like for that defense to really be lights out this year, and they can do it without this, but I just think Jaden Hicks taking a big step up and walking into the role that they're hoping he's able to walk into and execute at the level they're expecting, I just think that would do great things for the defense because Justin Reed was a big part of the defense. Was he perfect? No. But was he consistent? Yes. Did he have his limitations? Sure. But that guy, high IQ, would light you up, not afraid of contact, and yeah, it's just tough shoes, big shoes to fill, rather. I think Jaden Hicks can do it. I also put Pacheco on there just because he had a down year last year, and most of that was because he was injured almost all year with a broken ankle, came back, didn't look quite himself, and I just think you're further removed from surgery. You're also on a contract year, so Pacheco's going to be hoping to ball out. He's going to be motivated. This is the guy that they just asked him at a presser recently. When he was a rookie and he was drafted in the 7th round, he had his post-draft presser with the media, and he literally said, I'm willing to do what it takes to come in and take another grown man's job. And you know what he was asked at his presser recently? You're that guy now that the rookies are coming in and looking at, wanting to potentially take their job. You are that guy. You're not the new guy anymore. So Brashard Smith is in that room. Carson Steele, Elijah Mitchell, you sign him in free agency. You bring back Kareem Hunt. That running back room, I don't know what to expect from it. You know, if you look at it just from a depth chart perspective, it's probably Pacheco, Kareem, Elijah Mitchell, and Brashard Smith. We'll see who they have out there as actually like a third down back. Maybe it's Brashard, former wide receiver, arguably the best pass catching back in this year's draft class. Elijah Mitchell, if he's healthy, he's effective. But this is probably your 1-2 combo, your 1-2 punch right here. Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. I said earlier today on Twitter, or X, I wouldn't even be surprised to see Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt both get over 500 yards this year. Somebody said, true or false, Isaiah Pacheco gets 1,000 yards rushing this year. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments and the stream. Do you think Isaiah Pacheco goes for 1,000 yards this year? I'm not being disrespectful in my answer. I just said, I think that's false for this year. I don't know that Isaiah Pacheco gets 1,000 yards. And he could still have a good year, but I think that's a 1-2 punch with him and Kareem Hunt. I could easily see them both getting 500-600 yards apiece. And then you never know what injuries could hit the room and all that stuff. But Pacheco was very close. Let me see. You could pull up his stats pretty quickly here. Was it 2 years ago? Yeah. 2 years. Well, I mean, really his rookie year too, he was pretty close. He had over 1,000 scrimmage yards in 2023 and was very close, 960 yards from scrimmage in 2022. He could get back to that form. But I just think that running back room is a little bit more competitive just from I don't see a clear cut, like that's your guy. Because Kareem Hunt is very effective in his own way. So I'm very curious to see what happens there. But yeah, I think Pacheco needs to have a good year. I think it would help. You had the least explosive running back room in the NFL last year. And there is context to that. For sure. Pacheco hurt, comes back, not quite right. Kareem Hunt signed off the couch, literally off the couch. And then we don't actually talk about this a lot, but I went back and looked at it, and then I'll quit rambling and see how you guys are doing. But do you guys remember who the 3 running backs were to make the roster last year? They had 1 fullback, so we know Carson Steele. It was Isaiah Pacheco. Well, I think it was Isaiah Pacheco, CEH, and Carson Steele. That might have been the 3, to be honest with you. I'm trying to remember who the 3rd guy would have been. The problem is, CEH, as soon as he made the 53-man roster, he got placed on the NFI list, and then Pacheco got hurt after week 2. So that made for a very... Samaje Perine. So it was Carson Steele, and then the 3 running backs was CEH, Pacheco, and Perine. Well, Perine's your 3rd down back, but then within the first 2 weeks of the season, CEH was on the NFI. Pacheco broke his ankle. So yeah, that's something we don't think about a lot either last year, but the warning signs were there. I wish the Chiefs would have addressed it a little bit more before you had to sign Kareem off the couch. Like if you could have signed Kareem Hunt 6 weeks prior just to get him ready, but you can't anticipate injuries. Those are just 2 people that I think really need to step up and have a great year. And for Pacheco, it's really just, hey, can you stay healthy? For Jaden Hicks, it's, hey, can you step into that role that Justin Reed left behind? So let me know your thoughts on that. I would love to kind of see what you guys are thinking. Jennifer, thanks so much for the 10 bomb. $10 for number 10, Pop Pacheco. Let's go. It's crazy to think he's on his 4th year, last year of his rookie deal. I mean, I remember when he got drafted. So time flies. Time flies. Uri, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the 33 months. Let's go. 33 months is crazy. Kevin said, Cole, I would say Cook is under pressure. He got cooked quite a bit last season. Okay, yeah, Brian Cook. And he's also on the last year of his deal. You know, it's funny, who was asked about him? It was either Spags or Dave Merritt was asked about Brian Cook and how he thought he did last year. And he got a lot of compliments, but I did feel like he took a step back. If you compared last year to the year prior, and how he was looking before he, broke his foot. I don't like to use the word like a lot, but I'm trying to describe what happened to Brian Cook's foot. His ankle, remember, got spun around. Almost not quite 360 degrees, but there was a lot going on in there. And then that's the same foot or ankle he hurt, I think, in college. But yeah, Cook, that's a good one. The safety room in general is probably just under some pressure to perform. Justin Reed's gone. You did bring back Mike Edwards, the vet. Is it happening? What's up? What's up, Xander? If Pop added weight, he could. Yeah, it's a stretch for Pop to get 1,000 yards. He did put on a little bit of weight. No way Pacheco goes for 1,000, says Kevin. Steele would probably be leaving with Mr. Moore. With Sky? Yeah, I did my way too early 53-man roster projection immediately following the draft, and I just said, unless Andy Reid is just like, hey, I want a fullback no matter what, I would have Carson Steele not making it at this point in time, because I do think Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, Elijah Mitchell, and Brashard Smith should all make the roster. Elijah Mitchell's not safe, but you do want valuable depth, and that's what he could provide. And if he stays healthy, could provide a little bit more than that. But Kareem Hunt is your short yardage guy. He can do he's not going to be on special teams like Carson Steele was last year, but Carson Steele was out of the top 10, closer to the top 15 in special team snaps for the team in general. So you think, fullback, I mean, they use him a lot in special teams. I mean, they used him. He had over 100 snaps, but it was not as much as you would think. It's not as much as some of these other workhorses on special teams, like Jack Cochran was one of them, Cam Jones, Nazi, like some of those guys, Joshua Williams. But yeah, with that being said, I think Kareem Hunt could be your short yardage guy without your fumbles. He's not a fullback, but neither is Carson Steele truly. He's kind of a tweener, in between running back, fullback. Steele, okay, I read that. Yeah, that was a super gnarly injury if you're talking about Brian Cook. I agree. Do you think Watson steps up at corner? Yeah, what's up, Zinni? I mean, he was looking pretty good last year before he got hurt. The defense was looking great. He gets hurt, noticeable decline. He comes back, talking about Jalen Watson, right near the playoffs, and he wasn't quite himself. You're just trying to come back from these big injuries, and it takes a while to get back into the swing of things. So I'm not really concerned at Jalen Watson coming back and looking closer to his pre-injury self. Like, I think he does. But can you stay healthy? It's just a violent game. It's just a super violent game, but I think that Jalen will be your cornerback too. I mean, your primary three for sure: Trent McDuffie, Christian Fulton, and Jalen Watson. I mean, those are your three. Noel Williams, he's a rookie. He's going to take some time to get brought up to speed. Spags said last week, hey, once I feel comfortable with the defense and the secondary, and what I really think he meant by that was once he feels comfortable with Jalen Watson being able to move around, yes, but Christian Fulton, first year in the system, and Noel Williams, first year in the system, and also a rookie. Once he feels comfortable with these guys being able to kind of fly around without thinking, he said Trey McDuffie could easily kick back into the slot anytime he's needed. And that's going to do great things for the defense, in my opinion. One of the biggest keys. Steele was a preseason GOAT last year, then a flop. Preseason GOAT. Yeah, I mean, he had some great games. I don't even think ESPN shows your preseason stats, but I think he broke off like a big run, and he did have some of the standout plays. And that's what you want to see in preseason. Can you make a splash play? Because you're normally going against opposing teams' second, third, and fourth stringers, depending on when you're out there, right? So you better stand out in preseason. You better make some splash plays if you want to make the roster. You're excited to see what Noah Gray brings. Yeah, we talked about him a little bit more in depth in yesterday's video. Yes, yesterday's video, when I kind of talked about Travis Kelce and some of the other guys in the tight end room, but just you can have realistic expectations for Kelce without being disrespectful about it. You know what I mean? Like, he might not get 1,000 yards this year. That's okay. He might have 700 or 750 yards this year. But hopefully that's just because he doesn't have to be the guy all year long, because Rice is out to injury. Hollywood's out to injury. You sign Juju before the season. Then your running game's kind of a mess because Pacheco goes down. You have a revolving door at the left tackle spot where Trey Hendrickson literally took Kingsley Suamataia from the team's starting left tackle, from being the starting left tackle to the starting bench warmer, basically for the rest of the season. So hopefully the injuries don't hit and you're able to capitalize on that this year. And Kelce does not have to funnel this offense at 36 years old, because it was funneling through Rice before he got injured, pretty clearly. What are your thoughts on who will be in the running back room? What's up, Mike? I did talk about it just a little bit ago before you jumped in, but I think it's these four. I think it's Pacheco, Kareem, Elijah Mitchell, and Brashard Smith. I mean, Elijah and Brashard Smith, they're not guaranteed to make the roster. Burchard's a 7th-round rookie, and Elijah Mitchell's on a cheap $1-point-something million deal with incentives to bring it up a little bit higher than that. Your workhorses are Pacheco and Kareem, and then I do think Mitchell and Burchard most likely make the roster. But let's see how training camp goes. Can these guys get out of training camp healthy? All 4. Because that's the biggest X factor in all of the equations here when we do our 53-man roster projections. Can they stay healthy coming out of camp? You hope that they do. You want them to, but that's the same with the wide receiver room. Hollywood got injured on the first play of preseason. First play. That was insane. The last receiver to get injured with that sternoclavicular dislocation, same stadium, by the way, was Tyreek Hill when he played for the Chiefs. Wild. The difference for Tyreek is they set that dislocation and it stayed and healed. Hollywood's didn't stay and heal, and they had to get it surgically repaired, which is why he missed so much of the season. Mike, thanks so much for the 5-bomb. Let's go. I got Elijah Mitchell not making the roster. Cool guy. Who makes it over him? Or would you say they roll with 3 running backs and Steele as a fullback? Is that kind of what you're thinking? What's up, world? Hey, Cole, why did Patrick Mahomes change his 2018 to 2021 passing mechanics? Ooh, I don't know if he changed his passing mechanics, but if you're just kind of saying his play style from more of like a run and gun, sling it downfield kind of a guy, there was a few different things. Tyreek Hill getting traded, and then Mahomes being more calculated, having a better defense, not having to play hero ball, knowing, hey, we can matriculate the ball down the field and just get points and drain clock, and the defense will kind of do the rest. The deep ball kind of went down every single year since Tyreek left, and even the last year Tyreek was here, it started to struggle because of all the too high the team started playing. And I don't even know that after Tyreek, some of these wide receiver rooms the Chiefs had, I'm not sure they saw too high like the most in the NFL or anything like that. But you just never had that dynamic guy outside of Hill. I mean, there were definitely times where Mahomes would just say, F it, Tyreek's down there somewhere, and would just chuck it. And Tyreek's going to get it. Now, you're getting a little bit of that back, kind of, in Worthy. And he was showing some great ball tracking skills from time to time, especially back half of the season. Super Bowl was a really good one. So I don't know that he changed his throwing mechanics. I mean, maybe he did, and I'm just missing something. But I think it was more just a bunch of different factors, less quality left tackle play as well. He had like a different left tackle every single year. Crazy. I think I saw a stat. Every single Super Bowl Mahomes has played in, he's had a different left tackle. That's insane. What? Not a lot of stability there on the blind side, which has been unfortunate. But then sometimes Mahomes just misses. That's okay. He misses. He's off. He's wrong. There's just a variety of factors in that. I mean, 2022, who was your wide receiver 1? Juju? That's not a burner. You had MVS. That dude was doing professional wind sprints, running track. Crazy, huh? Flip with the 33 months. Which wide receiver is likely to hit 1,000 yards receiving? Worthy, Rice, Brown. At the age of 31, do you think Chris Jones will get a double-digit sack season? Holy smokes, loaded question. Yeah, it helped Mahomes expand his game. Yeah, for sure. He became very calculated, methodical. And you got to think, even though the offense wasn't as dangerous, fireworks, left and right, they still went to 3 Super Bowls in a row. It looked different, but Mahomes was fine to adapt and just help get the team there. It's fine. Okay, 1,000 yards receiving. You guys are looking at this. Who gets 1,000 yards receiving? If Rice doesn't get suspended, I'm probably saying Rashee Rice first and foremost. Obviously, that also means he comes back, looks completely fine after the knee injury, but he got injured so early last year that he's had so much time to rehab. Think about like Charles Omenihu. He tore his ACL in the AFC Championship game 2 seasons ago against the Ravens. And Rice got his knee jacked up in September. That's like 4.5 to 5 months earlier. So, in theory, Rice should be that guy that hits 1,000 yards. Xander says Rice and Worthy. Darrell said Mahomes should feel like he's got a security blanket on his blind side. Hopefully this year. Hopefully this year that's the case. Warrior said crazy. He had an MVP that year with no clear wide receiver one. Travis Kelce obviously helps with that. He's performed from a statistical production standpoint, basically wide receiver one level. But yeah, that 2022 season right here, Mahomes had 5,200 yards and 41 touchdowns to only 12 interceptions. With no Tyreek. Yeah, really crazy. That was a great year. I bet KC trades Sky if they can find a deal for him. I don't know. I don't know what value he has. I feel like with Sky, as long as no injuries hit the room, I don't know that Sky Moore is making the roster. I would not mind him on the practice squad, though, if he cleared waivers. The thing is, he might not clear waivers. Some team might see a former second-round pick that, in their eyes, didn't get a fair shake or just saw, it didn't work in the Chiefs system, but we think his skill set could develop and benefit ours one day. They could claim him. But I would like Sky on the practice squad if he doesn't make the roster. We'll see if that ends up happening. Just because if you needed to call somebody up in case of injuries, I mean, you no longer have Cornell Powell. He was kind of your guy that was there, that been around for years and just knew the system, and you could call up if you had to. I mean, Justin Ross has kind of been that guy too. Practice squad, you could call him up. We didn't trade up to get him. Someone would still be on him. Didn't we trade up to get him? Are you talking about Sky? We actually traded back. We traded back from 50 to 54. In that span, 2 receivers went off the board. I can't remember one of them. It might have been Tyquan Thornton, actually. I could be wrong. I think it was Tyquan Thornton. I think he was a second-round pick. I wish you could see. Can I see from here? I think it was Tyquan Thornton and then George Pickens went. And then the Chiefs drafted Sky 54th. Who's a bigger bust? Ooh, Speaks or Sky? I mean, Speaks kind of came on. Breeland Speaks, he came on in the UFL later. But what was he? He was Veach's first. He was in his first draft class. He was a second-round pick. Right. That's right. I think the expectations for Sky were pretty high. I'm just trying to remember. I didn't run the YouTube channel then. Obviously, I watched the Chiefs, but just didn't. I wasn't in the weeds on social media about expectations for players as much then. It was Mahomes' rookie year. So I don't know who was a bigger quote-unquote bust, to be honest with you. I mean, Speaks, I would assume, had a little bit more production than Sky. Pickens is a Cowboy. Yeah, they traded him to the Cowboys. Pretty crazy. Jerry doomed his team with another wide receiver diva. I mean, it's a 1-year rental for George Pickens, and you could potentially, I think you traded like a third to get him, but you can get a 3rd-round comp pick most likely back for him. Or maybe you traded a second and you get a 3rd back. So it's like a pick swap, even though if you get the comp pick, it's at the end of the round. I understand it's not the same, but it actually wasn't a bad deal for the Cowboys. But nobody cares about the Cowboys on the channel. Let's be honest here. Flip, your second question was, do you think Chris Jones could get a double-digit sack season? If the secondary holds up, because I think the secondary last year affected the pass rush as a whole. Let's see if I'm going to pull this up. I think the secondary struggling affected the pass rush as a whole. But I mean, he had 15.5 sacks, 10.5 sacks, and then 5 in 2024. I think you could get back to this number. I feel pretty. If I saw the over/under for Chris Jones sacks at 10 or 10.5, like that. If you said 9, I'd go with the over. Wait. Yeah. Sorry, I was getting confused on years for a second. But yeah, if the secondary holds up and is more I know Snead's gone, but if you could just get closer to that year where Snead was out there and then McDuffie was in the slot and you were just locking people down in the secondary, and because of that, the pass rush, it was complementary of each other. I think Chris Jones can get back to 10 sacks. Don't you guys? That doesn't feel like a hot take. Yep, some college stars just never translate to the NFL. Exactly. You could think, hey, this guy's going to be a star. I mean, think about Mitch Trubisky, Deshaun Watson, who actually was looking really good until he missed a year, and then it's been a train wreck ever since. But there's always guys that you think, oh, he's going to be incredible, and it just doesn't pan out at the NFL level. I think Jones is going to have more freedom to move around the line this season, said Crimson, and there will be more players to rush. Heck yeah. You did lose Wharton, but you have a Minihue back. He's going to be better than he was last year, and you didn't start the season with a Minihue. You've got Dana. You've got Karlaftis. FAU is kind of taking a little bit of a step up last year. We need a bigger step this year. You drafted Gelati. You drafted Omar Norman Lott. You have Tillery. You've got pieces. Some of that is just, okay, can the secondary hold up, but also can you stay healthy? Biggest thing almost of all of it. And then Flip with the back-to-back 5 bombs said, hot take, Sky Moore and Worthy have very similar to identical rookie stats. I don't think Sky's ever had over 250 yards in a season. Worthy had way more than that. Yeah, Worthy had way more than that. You must be trolling because Worthy, I'm trying to remember what Worthy's actual stats were. He had 638 yards and 6 touchdowns. Sky hasn't had over 250 yards. So, I don't know what you mean. But thank you for the 5. Flip with another 5. Fun fact, no defensive lineman in history has ever gotten a double-digit sack at the same age, 31. Not even Aaron Donald? I got to look that up. Aaron Donald, career stats. So at the age of 31, Aaron Donald only had 5. Oh, he only played in 11 games. Oh, no. Aaron Donald was crazy. 2018, 20.5 sacks. 2019, 12.5, then 13.5, then 12.5. Before that 20.5 sack season, he had 11. No D lineman has ever had a double-digit sack at the age of 31. How old is what about J.J. Watt? He never had either. J.J. Watt only had 5 sacks at the age of 31. T.J. Watt's not yet 31. I don't like that stat. Flip. Why'd you got to bring that one up? That's an interesting one. Happy anniversary to you and your wife. Thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate you. Thank you for the 5 bomb. Let's go. You and Matt live at the same time. Yeah, what's up, Jedi? Yeah, I've been doing Tuesday night Q&As forever. But yeah, I think Matt with Chiefs. I mean, there's a lot that go live on Tuesday nights, so it's fine. The thing is, like, you're always going to have overlaps. Arrowhead Addicts live. KCSN goes live. Probably all chiefed up at times. I mean, there's a lot, but I appreciate each and every one of you being here, man. Yeah, let me look up Strahan. Somebody said Strahan with the Giants. Let's look Strahan up. At 31, Michael Strahan had 11. Michael Strahan did have 30 at the age of 31, had 11 sacks. That's at least one guy. One guy at least. You two are my favorite. Tough to pick. That's all good, Jedi. Whether you bounce back and forth or you go there, I mean, much respect to what Matt's doing over there. He's been putting in work writing and reporting on the Chiefs for a long, long time, and he's a vet in the game, and he has very solid takes, does his due diligence, studying, watching, observing, and yeah, I have nothing but respect for him. How many years? Darrell, how many years for what exactly? Anniversary, 12 years married on the 15th, 5 days. Time flies. We got married pretty young. I was 22 and Danny was 21, which is kind of wild. Jared Allen, double-digit sacks. I was like, I'm sure there's some, but maybe there's something. You should definitely compare the stars of Sky versus Moore rookie stats, seriously, side by side. Wait, when you say Moore, who are you talking about? Sky versus Moore? His name's Sky Moore. You talking about DJ Moore? Who are we talking about? Flip. Another 5-bomb, though. Let me know. Do you believe Sky Moore should get another chance? I don't believe anybody should get a chance if they don't belong on the roster. Will he belong on the roster this year? If they roll with 7 wide receivers, I could very well see Sky make the roster. If somebody gets hurt, God forbid, Royals, somebody that is like, oh, that's a lock. I think Sky is probably your next man on that pecking order, unless for some reason like Tyquan Thornton or maybe Elijah Badger just really like goes freak beast mode during camp, during preseason, because Sky's guarantees are very low on the last year of his rookie deal. So Sky's had chances. I didn't initially have him making the 53-man roster last year, but when you get to training camp, you saw him working in as soon as Rice or whoever got banged up. Justin Watson got banged up for a little while with an ankle at training camp last year. Guess who the next man up was in the pecking order? As soon as Justin Watson went down, Sky Moore was immediately in there. So you start looking at the signs, and it's like, okay, I think Sky Moore is going to make this roster because all the signs were pointing and indicating to that happening. So my way too early take is I don't think Sky is safe to make the roster, just like I did not think he was safe to make it last year. But I also said the same about Kadarius Toney. You have to fight for your right to party. You have to fight for your right for the 53-man roster. And Toney he got injured, had the knee surgery, and then it never really panned out for him. But Kadarius Toney was working with the 3rd and the 4th team during preseason. Sky was with the 1s or the 2s. So it's like, okay, well, Sky's probably going to make the roster. I don't think he's safe this year. But let's see what happens. You got to let camp play out. Patty, thanks again for the 20 bomb. Jennifer with the 12. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much. 12 years. Dub Freak with the 20 bomb. What's up, man? Thank you. Hope you and the fam and Casey are doing good. Doing great. Where is that dog? Oh, she's here sleeping. She's here sleeping. Just want to say thanks for all the amazing content. Heck yeah, man. It's an honor. I mean, I get to do this for my job. Talk about the Chiefs, research, look up stats, and collect info for you guys and present it with my own spin. Listen through pressers, look at injury reports, watch games over again, look at coaches' film. This is fun. This is really fun to me. Even 3.5 years in or whatever it is. Fun question. Which 5 players from the league would you want on the Chiefs? No cap limits. Okay. Wow, okay. Okay, 5 players. I'm probably going to do like a couple on offense and defense. So let's go Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley. That's insane. Okay, Jamar and Saquon on offense. You know what? And then give me the best left tackle in the business. I don't even care who that is. because you could probably argue a few different guys in there. Christian Darrisaw pre-injury. But you know what? No, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to believe Josh Simmons is that guy. So give me Jamar Chase, give me Saquon. I like both of those a lot. For defense, let's go PS2. PS2 and McDuffie would be nasty. Let's go. Give me a pass rusher. For this year, give me Trey Hendrickson. I know we're taking 2 Bengals, but like they don't want him. No cap limits. Give me Trey Hendrickson. I like that. For the 5th one, what's the crazy returner from the Cowboys? Cowboys kick returner? I'm going like special teams. Is it Devontae Turpin? Is that him? Kavontae Turpin. Yeah, give me him as the team's returner. There's 5. You could have went a bunch of different ways. Yeah, TJ Watt. I thought about Fred Warner, Denny. I did. Thanks for the content. Appreciate that. Thank you, Jedi. Sky Moore versus Worthy rookie stats comparison. Sorry, using my phone as screen cracked this week. What? Okay. Sky Moore stats. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, brother. Because Sky Moore only had 250 yards his rookie year. Worthy had 600. Yeah, Worthy had 600. Sky's rookie year, he had 22 catches for 250 yards and 0 touchdowns. Worthy had 600 and something yards and 5 or 6 touchdowns. TJ Watt's, yeah, there's a bunch of guys right now. And I thought about Watt. I thought that'd be fun. Watt, give me another guy in the interior. Who's the Giants guy? I should know his name. Give me the interior D lineman for the Giants. It's the offseason, that's why. Did somebody say, why are we talking about this? I don't know. Somebody asked me. Oh, Dub Freak asked me. Those were just 5 that came to mind, but you could go a bunch of different directions. Chiefs in terminal decline. Yeah, man, they made 3 Super Bowls in a row. They just didn't manage to win the last one after making 5 Super Bowls in 6 years. They got better at left tackle. They got better at corner. And if they stay healthy, they're going to be favorites to make it back to the Super Bowl again. Terminal decline. You need to quit eating paint chips, dog. That's crazy. I feel Christian Fulton is being overlooked as a big offseason addition. I mean, I guess overlooked by who, Jeremy? Just because I think I agree with you. He was one of my favorite offseason additions because you need the cornerback help, especially on the outside. That could allow Trent McDuffie to kick back inside to the slot where Chamari Connor really struggled and where Nick Bolton, just in the middle of the field in general, that's not his strong suit in coverage. So I thought Christian Fulton was a great get. A little bit of injury concerns, but I really liked the free agency signing of Fulton, especially for the price. Was it 2 years, $20 million? It's been a minute since I've thought about it, but I think it's 2 years, $20 million, $15 million guaranteed. So I like that move a lot, Jeremy. Maybe some others aren't as high on that signing, but when you're just looking at the free agent signings that they brought in that were not a Chief last year because they retained guys, right? They tagged Trey Smith. You re-signed Bolton, 3-year, $45 million. There were certain guys that you brought back, but of the new additions that they brought in via free agency, I liked Fulton a lot. Does anyone even read the comments fast enough on these live streams? I can't read them all, but I do try. I'm appreciative of the signing, just overlooked with the LT and others. Yeah, I mean, you needed to address left tackle. They did that first with Jalen Moore, which I forgot about this, guys. Did you guys remember that Jalen Moore was placed on season-ending IR week 16 with a quad injury with the 49ers? I forgot about that because he's still not a full go at OTAs right now. Is it the same injury? I'm not sure. You don't have to report on injuries, so it's a little difficult to know what exactly is going on with Jalen Moore. Yeah, he ended the season with a quad injury. Yeah, Jalen Moore was a guy that you brought in, and then Christian Fulton. Those were two of the bigger ones for sure. The day that Bolton signed his contract, you absolutely were acting like he was overpaid. I think it's fine. It's fine. We know what Nick Bolton brings. He's a leader of the defense, very high IQ, great against the run. We also just know his limitations. And then when you look at the linebackers who were set to hit free agency, a lot of them got extended or re-signed by their team. Nick Bolton was for sure one of the best options available on the free agent market by the time they extended him. It was pretty high, but I don't think I said anything to the extent of, oh, he's overpaid. Just the market. He's still pretty young. Let me look at highest paid linebackers, and we have to go interior inside linebackers. Can't lump in the outside guys. I mean, Nick Bolton is, I want average. Where's average? Nick Bolton is tied for 5th as the highest paid linebacker, the 5th highest paid linebacker in the NFL, but I think at the time he was the 4th because since then Fred Warner got extended. So I think at the time Nick Bolton was 4th highest paid linebacker, which felt high, but like, I mean, I didn't lose sleep over it. I didn't cry. Overpaid is relative compared to the market. He is well within his price range. Well, and the other thing too, when you extend some of these guys, I mean, Nick Bolton's only 24, and you have to account for the rising of the salary cap, and Spags just really values having that middle linebacker green dot that controls the defense. That's what he wants. That's what he prefers. There's a little bit of a tax to having that as well, which is fine. Nobody's perfect out here. Nobody's Fred Warner either. So you're going to have limitations with other linebackers if they're not Fred Warner. Season-ending IR, did they class that because he was a backup or was just that bad? Well, Stanley, he was placed on IR week 16, which is just, it ends your season, and then the 49ers never made the playoffs. So if he was let's say he was placed on IR week 10, maybe it wouldn't have been season-ending if he returned week 14, week 15, but it technically was season-ending IR with the quad. Their season was already done anyway. Then he said ever since Bolton got his tackle record, he's slowed way down. Hopefully he comes out better this year. Yeah, I'm probably not Nick Bolton's biggest fan, but I'm not his worst enemy. I think especially against the run. His ability to tackle, using his instincts to split the gap and make plays. Like, remember Nick Bolton when he stopped that Falcons play on 4th and whatever it was to end the game? Like, that's the stuff that I think about. Then there's other times where he gets just, taken advantage of in coverage, but again, not everybody's going to be perfect and be able to do everything that you want him to do. Bolton has a computer mind, processes fast. I like that a lot. I think Karlaftis gets about 15 sacks this year if we get pressure from a Minihue. Ooh, that's a good one. George Karlaftis with 15 sacks this year. And then some of those are like, thank you, Chris Jones sacks because he's double teamed or they're paying attention to him, but we'll take that all day long. Favorite Chiefs game of all time. Ooh. Super Bowl 54 probably is going to be that just because it's the first time the Chiefs ever won the Super Bowl. The 13-second game with the Bills was crazy. We could probably go back in time and just think about some other interesting ones, but all of my fondest memories was getting to the Super Bowl or some of the craziest playoff games in the Mahomes era. Why do so many people refer to Jamar Chase as being unguardable? after he was locked down by Trent McDuffie. Well, yeah, you put like PS2 or McDuffie, one of the best in the business, on a really good wide receiver, and that could go. Think of that like an XMA, not an XMA, UFC, XMA, Extreme Martial Arts. That's hilarious. That's my past. Think about like a UFC fight between two great fighters. Probably, if the same guys fought 5 times, one guy's winning one of them, the other guy's winning the other. It could go back and forth. I think of it like that because Jamar Chase could have a good game. He's had good plays against McDuffie, vice versa. But I don't think that's really a diss to Jamar to say you got clamped by McDuffie. McDuffie's top 3 in the NFL, top 5. So 13-second game was really crazy. I mean, I remember looking at my wife during that game when the Bills scored. 13 seconds left, and I said, hey, I said, listen, Mahomes and those guys could do a lot, but I don't know that they can come back from this one. I wasn't being negative. I was just looking at it. Like, I don't know how they get up there and get into field goal range in 13 seconds. First play happened. I was like, okay, wait a second. Hold on a second. And then they did get into field goal range. Definitely proved me wrong. Overtime, walk-off touchdown in overtime with Kelsey. Boom, over. They lost the next week, which was unfortunate. But yeah, that 13-second game was insane. If only Bolton had Tyreek level speed. Exactly. If only any linebacker had Tyreek level speed. Come on now. Thank you, Dub, with the 2. America with the 2. Imagine if we had Jamal Charles. Man, Jamal Charles in this offense. Even just, I wonder about Kareem Hunt in this offense had he never gotten kicked off the team because none of that off-the-field stuff happened. Because he looked fantastic his rookie year. His rookie year was Mahomes' rookie year, 2017. And then he was looking really good 2018, Mahomes' first year as a starter. That would have been your best running back in the Mahomes era, and I think still was until he got released. It was like November, December of that season. But Jamal Charles would have been absolutely incredible. We had 3 timeouts and field goal was all needed with butt kicker. Yeah, it definitely helped that the Chiefs had 3 timeouts in that 13-second game. And the Bills, did they kick a touchback? I think they kicked the touchback. So you didn't drain any time off the clock on the kick either. What does my shirt say? My shirt says, "This is my shirt for the football game." It's a play on Creed Humphrey's shirt last year. Morale should be amazing. I hope so, Darrell. I really hope so. They should be in good spirits. You got your butt kicked in the Super Bowl, but that's in the past. Now you just move forward and you look forward to another great year. You look forward to another great year. Priest Holmes was one of my favorite running backs ever. Priest Holmes was one of my favorite running backs ever. Caleb with the 20. You want Thomas Jones back? You want, he was on the tail end of his career when he was in Kansas City, but he almost had 1,000 yards one year. Wasn't he like pretty close to 1,000 yards one year? Thomas Jones. Holy smokes, brother. This offseason got trolls shivering. Crimson said, our offseason's going well when so many trolls are already in chat. Oh, there's trolls in here? Nice. Most of them are about 12 or the IQ of a squirrel in the backyard. Just let them yap. It's all good. I hope Rashard Smith gives us that type of running back passing game that the Williams duo gave us, 26 and 31. I don't know what to expect from Brashard Smith his rookie year, but hopefully in the next couple of years, he really can be that running back in the backfield that defenses just kind of fear, especially in the pass game. One Hall of Famer in Chiefs history. If you could bring him back, who would you pick? I'm really partial to Derek Thomas. He was my favorite player growing up. So I would take Thomas. Is there somebody else that might fit better in this current system that's in the Hall of Fame, former Chiefs player? Maybe. But I'm rolling with Thomas. DT. My favorite game, Derek Thomas, 7-sack game against the Seahawks. Crazy, and they still lost. Unreal. He almost had 9 sacks. Hey, Cole, did you see on X that Patrick Mahomes is copying Jalen Hurts? I saw that. Listen, with all due respect, ain't nobody out here thinking about Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry. They're just not. You know who's thinking about Jalen Hurts in the entire world? Eagles fans. That's it. No, nobody else wakes up like, I wonder what Jalen Hurts is doing today. He had a good game. He's on a really good team. But nobody's waking up thinking about Jalen Hurts, dog. I'm sorry. Should do a video on best Chiefs finishes. Priest touchdown drive with 1 second on the clock. Make it win and lose. If you don't get it, he jumped over the line. Fantastic. Priest Holmes was electric. I had a Priest Holmes jersey, and I think I met him when I was a kid. Cute dog. Thanks, JB. Yeah, well, I don't know what she was doing. She was walking around back here. I don't think anyone is super impressed about him, and I don't know why. I mean, Jalen Hurts is top 10-ish quarterback, right? He's got to be in there somewhere. So it's not like a diss. But even if you say, hey, name an NFL player, you're going to think of a bunch of guys probably before him. It's not really a diss. It's just reality. I mean, I'm saying Saquon. That's one of my, if I'm trying to think outside Chiefs, one of the first players to come to mind. I'm just thinking like Justin Jefferson, give me Lamar, Saquon, Fred Warner, guys like that. If you want to go back, Jerry Rice and stuff like that, but I'm just saying current guys now. You hate Eagles fans? I mean, I said it after the Chiefs lost. Eagles fans have bragging rights all offseason long. That's what we have had as Chiefs fans the last 2 years in a row prior. Yeah, I think Warrior said Jalen Hurts is a QB who needs a good supporting cast. But the reality is he has one. Howie Roseman's incredible. And they built a friggin' super team. And he's definitely an above average QB. He's got to be in the top 10. Like, if I went through the top 10 quarterbacks, he would be in there. I think. He would have to be. Top 5's like a lot easier because it's Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, and who's another one? Top 5? Matt Stafford. I think you could argue him in there. You could go with some of the Jaden Daniels. There's definitely, I don't know that you're putting Hurts in the top 5. Chase, if he didn't run his mouth about Mahomes and the Chiefs, Jamar Chase. I mean, Jamar Chase, he's good, dude. Triple crown last year for a reason. Ooh, if you were on the Chiefs, what position would you play? Waterboy. For sure. Waterboy or I don't know. When I was back in the prime doing martial arts and running around, flying around, maybe give me cornerback. Nah, slot corner. Just give me kicker. It's fine. Trainers. That's it. I am a trainer. You see me out there. Hurts is not top 10. Yeah, I would have to look at every quarterback and think about it. But he's depending on your top 10, he's around there. He's around there. Priest Holmes will score 35 touchdowns a season in this offense. I mean, that O-line was probably one of the best O-lines in Chiefs history. Is Stafford the most under-the-radar Hall of Fame worthy quarterback, said Crimson. Part of the reason why he doesn't have more than one Super Bowl ring is because he was on the Lions. He's been great. He's definitely under the radar. I think he's still one of the top QBs in the NFL. He's obviously getting older, and that doesn't make it easier. Age, Father Time is undefeated. I think Matt Stafford's freaking awesome. What martial arts did you participate in? I traditionally trained in Taekwondo for about 10 years. Kyle, what's up, dude? Good to see you. One of the best Chiefs fans around. Heck yeah. For the Zoom call, you'll be discussing how good the Vikings will be this upcoming season. I like that. I'm excited for the Vikings. Jahmyr Gibbs from Detroit is nasty. Jahmyr Gibbs is awesome. I mean, if you really think about it and you want to talk about just random football players, Derrick Henry, he's up there. A.J. Brown, he's underrated a little bit. He just happens to be in a run-first offense. Sam Laporta, Lions tight end. Hollywood interview coming up. I'm going to try Xavier. He said he was down. We'll see, though. We will see. I did shoot him a message. Would you like a Cheetah return? I wouldn't mind it. I don't want to see the Chiefs trade for him, but if after his contract or he gets out of his contract or something like that, comes to the Chiefs on a pretty cheap deal, I would be down. I would definitely be down. After camp would be good. Heck yeah. We'll definitely try. Fun fact, the Steelers are doing a crossover with the Real Housewives of Pittsburgh this season. Yeah, NFL news right now, Aaron Rodgers is officially a Steeler. The Broncos just signed J.K. Dobbins. Nick Chubb just signed to the Texans. The Packers released Jair Alexander. The Bengals are having multiple players holding out again. Cole, you should check the stats on Henry versus Chiefs. Well, the Chiefs have traditionally done pretty well against Derrick Henry, right? Or am I just way off? I think I'm way off, especially maybe in the playoffs. In 5 games against the Chiefs, he's had 91 carries for 493 yards and 7 touchdowns. 58 yards, 188 yards, 86, 115, and 46. Yeah, they've kept him in check. That game in 2019 where he went for 188 yards is insane. But yeah, 58 yards. Outside of that 188, he went 86, 115, and 46. I think we have in the playoffs limited scoring. That helps. Willie Gay got picked up by Willie Gay. That was a little while ago now. I was just trying to think of like recent signings, unless somebody was asking about Willie Gay. But yeah, he's on the Dolphins. How many games have you attended? Best away game you've been to? So I haven't been to an away Chiefs game. I've probably been to 8-ish Chiefs games. I'm super introverted, guys, so I just like watching from home. Even now, people are like, you just watch the game by yourself? I watch it with you guys and as I call the game. But even before the YouTube channel, I watch the games by myself. If it was a playoff game, I wasn't going to a party. I wanted to watch it and not hear people. I wanted to watch the TV. I've been to 3 Chiefs playoff games, and they've lost all 3, so I don't go back to playoff games. Just can't see Rodgers being good for any locker room. I think he's probably pretty chill nowadays. He's a little weird. He's pretty chill. Kirk Cousins starting or backup this year? There's really nowhere for Kirk Cousins to go, unless it's maybe the Saints and their division rivals. You could hold him, which you're probably going to do, and if somebody gets hurt, then you trade him and he could be a starter. Unless you're saying, hey, is he going to be a starter for the Falcons? The only way I see Kirk Cousins actually starting for the Falcons is if Penix gets hurt. Top 5 cities you've been to with the best food? Cities would be hard, but I've been to 9 different countries when I was in my younger 20s. Used to travel with the missions organization and had some really good food internationally. Scotland, some of the best soups ever. Crazy. Northern Ireland, been there. Mexico, obviously, street tacos were insane. I've only been to 1 game at Arrowhead, end of the season, no chance of making the playoffs and lost to the Chargers, but I got to see Jared Allen play offense and get a touchdown. Insane. Aaron Rodgers is still good, but not his prime self. Nah, I'm not sure you could put Aaron Rodgers in the top 10 anymore, but he's not Will Levis. He can still give you some average-ish QB play, I would think. Yo, PY, with the 10 bomb. Holy smokes, dude. Thank you. You said I'm 11 years old with the 10 bomb? You did not have to do that, but I appreciate that. I'm playing Madden as a Chief right now in my room. It's fully decked out, Chief stuff. Love your videos. Thank you so much. Let's freaking go. Hopefully you win at Madden. Thanks so much for the support. Glad you enjoy the videos. I just met a guy, I guess a kid. Well, I went to Downtown Days, Lee Summit, and I was just with some friends, but this one, it was like a mom and her son came up to me, and the kid was only 9, but big fan of the channel, and I got to take a picture with him. It was really cool. So it's always awesome when especially when I just think kids these days and what they perceive as like YouTubers. I don't know if I could make their day, because I'm nobody special. But if they think highly of me because I'm a YouTuber and I could take the time out of my schedule to say what's up, see how they're doing, say thanks for the support and take a picture with them, like that's the least I could do. Kanan with the 5. Thank you so much, man. Will Rashee Rice finish with a better career than T. Higgins? In a huge debate, what do you think? Not skill, career. Oh my gosh. I'm going to say that Rice has the chance to have a bigger career than T. Higgins only because T. Higgins is behind Jamar Chase, and he's going to be behind Jamar Chase for a long time. With that being said, T. Higgins has still had 900, 1,000, 1,000, 650, 900. Those have been his yards every year in the NFL, and he has battled some injuries. Rice missed most of his second year, but Rice could also be the wide receiver 1 for the team moving forward. Kelsey might be gone after this year. If Rice is the guy, I could see him potentially outproducing T. Higgins, but Higgins has already been in the league for 5 years, and he's still been really productive as probably the most productive wide receiver 2 in the NFL, even behind Jamar Chase. Higgins is more talented. I think it's up for interpretation only because Rice was going insane last year until he got hurt. At the end of the day, the best ability is availability, but the season-ending knee injury was crazy. Mahomes did it. It was crazy. It was an accident. But Rice was shaping up to go for 1,400 yards last year. I mean, it was going to be insane. Either way, T. Higgins is great. Probably the best wide receiver 2 in the NFL. Rice all day. Higgins is always hurt. I mean, he played 14 games, 14, 11, and 9. So he has kind of declined the past couple of years. But Rice played his rookie year and then missed basically all last year. And that's all we have for a sample size. Higgins got that height. Yeah, Higgins is what, 6'4"? Higgins is their tall contested catch guy, which makes him perfect number 2 to Chase being wide receiver 1. Oh, they're the best 1-2 duo in the NFL. Who else would it be? Put life-size images of their moms behind them and see how good our O-line becomes. Just kidding, said Booker T with a 20 bomb. Let's go. With the 20 bomb. All right, Casey Lion Squad with the 2. Said, I met Okoye and Bo Nix. Oh, no. Dwayne Bowe and Christian Okoye, Bo Nix. Crazy. At Ward Parkway working at Dillard's. Really? How many years ago? That's pretty awesome. Oh, wait, Bo Jackson. Okay, that makes even more sense. You met Bo Nix. Bo Nix was hanging out with Christian Okoye. Oh, God bless America. That was crazy. That's how you know I'm in the NFL weeds today too much. Dang, man. What the heck was Christian Okoye and Bo Nix doing together? That's awesome. Reaps with the 24 months, top 3 fantasy running backs for the season. Ooh. Top 3? If the tush push got banned, I was going to say for sure Saquon, and it still might be Saquon. Jahmyr Gibbs has to be up there. Who would your top 3 be, running back wise? It's got to be Saquon. Derrick Henry could be in the combo. James Cook was up there last year. It's got to be maybe those 3. CMC if healthy, yeah. Marcus, what's up, dude? Yeah, Bo Jackson and Christian Okoye. That makes way more sense. Yeah, because Dwayne Bowe's spelled B-O-W-E anyway. So, I'm tripping. I was definitely tripping about Bo Nix. Hopefully that made you guys laugh because it made me laugh. Dub Freak with another 20 bomb. Mate, my Sunday church is listening to you and watching a game at 3 a.m. Also, if you ever come back to the UK, you and the missus need to check out the Cotswolds or the Peak District or specifically Chatsworth House. Big love from the UK. Chatsworth House. All right. That's where we got to go next. A center for creativity and features art and artifacts that span 4,000 years. Let's go. Well, that's awesome that the Sunday church is listening to you and watching a game at 3 a.m. Come on now. Thanks for the kind words. I'm glad you enjoy it, even all the way at 3 in the morning. I had Derek Thomas autograph a card for me after a beach challenge at Oceans of Fun. Albert Lewis, Marcus Allen, and J.J. Burden. That's so cool. J.J. Burden, he's still making content. Is he doing stuff for the media? Some sort of sports media, maybe? Tobe talked up the rookie USC punter. Does he have a chance to beat out Ariza? I mean, yes, because he's coming off of injury. It's Eddie Chaplitsky, and I probably butchered the name. Chaplitsky. Look at the spelling. It's crazy, but I think it's Chaplitsky, or close to it. Czaplicki. One of the better punters in this draft class. He went undrafted partially because he was injured and also partially because a lot of punters aren't getting drafted these days. But he was one of the best punters in college at landing punts inside the 20. And you know what Matt Ariza struggled with last year? Landing punts inside the 20. A lot of them bounced into the end zone for a touchback. So, there's definitely a possibility that Chaplitsky, Eddie, we'll just call him Eddie. Eddie could beat out Ariza. Does it happen? We shall see. Matt Ariza battled it out with Ryan Rico last year, and he ended up becoming the punter for the Bengals. Matt Ariza has a leg, man. He really does. You just got to control those punts and get them to land inside the 20. That's it. That's all you got to do. Easier said than done, of course. Okay, let me see. He was already have a deal put in place with the Royals and pretty sure the NFL would never let him become a chief. Oh, you guys are mid-combo. Okay, my bad. Crazy stat. Derek Thomas had 27 sacks in his last year at Alabama. Not a record because they didn't record sack stats that year. Wow. Insane. You're drinking coffee tomorrow? Heck yeah. Ariza has a rocket leg that needs to be tamed. Factual. What's up, Benji? Dang, I got to go back to work. Cole, you're a goat with this content. Benji, let's go. Have a great night at work. You're on the late night shift. Have a great night at work. Thanks for all the kind words. Let's go. Do you have a pregame ritual even when watching from home? Well, not really. The past couple of years, I'd call the games here and react to the games live. I didn't really have any rituals. Like growing up, Sunday was Chiefs Day. We'd run home after church and watch games with my dad. So I don't know. Do you guys have any good rituals? I think I'm a bad person to ask because I don't really have any. Mike said I was down in the Ozarks a couple years back and Neil Smith was there and got a picture with him. Pretty neat. Neil Smith lives in Lee Summit. So I remember one day we were at Hy-Vee and he was signing stuff. But there was no line. We went back. I grabbed my Neil Smith jersey, took it back to him. So it was already signed. The Neil Smith jersey was already signed. Took it back to him and he wrote like a couple other things on there. Yeah, he was just doing a signing at Hy-Vee and Lee Summit right up the road. I had no idea. Just walked in there and he was signing. I was like, oh, what the heck? I fixed my family breakfast and watched NFL Red Zone. Heck yeah. What's up, Sleepy? Sleepy with the 26 months, knowing the schedule. What's your prediction on our record by end of season? Probably like 13 wins. It's a pretty safe assumption because every year of the Mahomes era before last year, it was between 12 and 14 wins. And they got 15 last year. But a couple of those very easily could have not been W's. So I feel good for about 13 or so wins. You worked out with Neil Smith late 90s at Blue Springs Fitness. Holy crap, he asked me to spot him. I'm 5'6", 160. Holy smokes. You might have needed 2 spotters. Cole's pregame ritual is calling the game. Yeah, I just rest up because it's a 4-hour stream, 5-hour stream sometimes. Speaking of punters, Dustin Colquitt retired recently. Yeah, he signed a 1-year deal with the Chiefs. Was it this Monday? Or it was last week. I can't remember, but it was recently. It might have been last week. But he was at practice. He boomed a punt, landed it inside the 5. Spotter equals run and get help. Yeah. Only ritual is having gear on Sunday. That's fine. That's a good one. Most games I have a beer, but I don't know if that's ritualistic. Mahomes went out like a little girl in Super Bowl, said Gilbert. Okay. Good one, dude. Wasn't it a 1-day deal? Yeah, it was just a 1-day contract to sign with the team. They gave him a Cole Quitter jersey. It was hilarious. I did see that. It said Cole Quitter, which is freaking awesome. Connor, hey Cole, just wanted to say you've been putting out high quality content on Cole Breaks the Huddle. Keep it up. Oh, thanks, Connor. Yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed to Cole Breaks the Huddle and you want to know just NFL-wide news and what's going on there, we're dropping 3, 4, 5 videos a week on that channel. Still dropping 3 and then a live stream on this channel during the offseason. During the offseason, Cole Breaks the Huddle, we have a lot to talk about. Just every team, NFL, holdouts, contract stuff, sadly, off the field issues. With the Chiefs, there's still plenty to talk about, but there are times in the offseason where it's like, okay, the heck am I going to talk about today? But I'm very glad that you enjoy the content. I have a lot of fun with that one. It also just helps me know a little bit more what's going on around the league and helps look at context for the Chiefs. The only ritual I have is wearing Chiefs gear with my Chiefs chain and watching the game from my Chiefs fan cave with the chain on. Heck yeah. Love that. Told you we had trolls? Nah, it's all right. That's all right. Trolls been around. Trolls been around since the channel, really started. Was I on the Chiefs-aholic documentary? Yeah, they came here and interviewed me. They didn't use a lot of my stuff because I didn't have anything really nice to say. I didn't say much nice. Is Rice getting suspended? Yes. Go for KC forever. But the question is when. We don't know. Could be this year. It could be next. We're really not sure. You were in the Chiefs-aholic doc? Yeah. They came and interviewed me, and we talked about... They just asked a little bit of what it was like around Chiefs Kingdom when he went missing and found out he got arrested. I made a couple videos on him and that, but that was really all. They threw the book at that dude. They really did. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. There's people calling me snitch. I didn't even snitch. I dug up what I found publicly available and made a video on it. The police called. They're like, where'd you get this info? I was like, well, 90% of it public. One guy DM'd me something, told me not to say who he was, and then deleted his account. So there was that guy. Still don't know who that is to this day. And then the other guy was just Braden. That was it. You're 67? Let's go. What's your 60s like? What's that like? Is it good? Does it really depend on the person? Zulu said it was me. Maybe it was. They were a watcher of the channel. They made an account. Showed me some proof of some stuff and then deleted their account. People outside Chiefs Kingdom despise the Chiefs, and now they understand that the Chiefs have a weakness, but we don't care. Yeah, it's like the Patriots in their heyday. We all hated the Patriots. We wanted to see them lose. We were sick. Oh, you're 6'7", not 67? I was like, why are you telling us you're 67? It felt random. Okay, you're 6'7". Good God, dude. Can you dunk on the haters? Yeah, everybody wants to see the Chiefs lose. It's fine. We all wanted to see the Patriots lose. We were sick of them. 47 feel like I'm 67? Oh, gosh. You're old and short. Hey, it's better than being old and dead. You know? So you're still alive. Let's go. That's all that matters. Just happy we have the bleachers cooking up her dark magic. Who's that? You're 21, feel like 41. I'm 34. Feel like I gotta at least feel 54. My back and knee. Other than that, I'm good. Well, shoot. Sleepy, thank you. Dub Freak, Booker, Reaps, Lion, Nuggy, Kanan. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Thanks for all the dono bombs. Gonna go ahead and call it. Get out of here for the night, but I always enjoy the Q&As. We'll probably have a video tomorrow. Media look and media availability is Thursday. So we'll have a video then for sure. And maybe we can get another guest on for an interview this week. We had Brandon Perna last week. If you didn't see that, that was pretty fun. So we definitely got content down the pipeline on the way. And then mandatory minicamp is next week. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Thank you for the mods for holding it down. Always enjoy it. Fun to talk some Chiefs. And here in about 6 weeks, training camp will start. And then it's really going to get going again. So appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out. So until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about those Chiefs?